Hi, I am Matthias Martins, and welcome back to my reading from How to Do Things with Stories. We're now on to Chapter 5. Case Study: The Minnesota Snowbirds. In this chapter, we'll put some of the tools we've been learning to use. The concept of intended effect has diverse uses in storytelling. It can guide the entire process of storycraft, taking one's raw experience and molding it into a unified whole. Or with a few light touches, it can refine a shape that is already forming, adding a touch of clarity and finesse to just those portions of the creation that remain lumpy and muddled. Here, we will use it holistically. It will take us from a lump of clay to the rough outline of a complete work. Here is the intended effect we will work with: to complicate the idea of romantic love. Specifically, we will erode the idea that every person on Earth has another person who they were made for. What is the necessary dramatic question to produce this effect? Let us consider something like, can two people be unhappy and malcontent with themselves and each other despite being made for each other? Some true believers in true love would simply roll their eyes at this question and answer, yes, for some people deserve to be unhappy, and those people are born in matching pairs. So we eliminate this escape by producing two characters who, despite believing they are made for each other, and not obviously deserving to be unhappy and malcontent, are not in a state of bliss. How can this be? Well, our protagonists believe in true love, so it's likely they also believe in another Disney culture trope: following your dreams. Each believes, quite reasonably, that the other is preventing them from following their secret dream. What they don't know is that their secret dreams are the same: to escape to New York and pursue careers as artists. We begin in a suburb of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Wes is a bank teller who busses downtown every morning. Liz goes on foot to irregular shifts at a local grocery store, on top of doing graphic design work in the gig economy. They live together in a dingy duplex that they are renting to own from Wes's father. Liz's diary. I can't stop asking myself what I am building to. Making posters? It can't go on like this. Get in or get out. I can't get in. It does nothing for me. Wes and I were going to see the world. Oh my God, what if he wants kids? There's no place for a child in me. I am hollow. Wes's video blog. I just try to remember that there's poetry in everything. You don't have to travel to find fuel for your art. It can happen on the bus. You can see light filtering through the autumn leaves. You can see people. Sometimes I imagine the bus as a high-speed rail in France or Italy. I imagine looking across the aisle and seeing two fiery pools of amber. A petite mystery with a beret tilted rakishly on top of flowing locks of... No, wait. Edit that. In their kitchen at 10 o'clock at night, Wes and Liz have a conversation. Liz. I don't think this is working for me. Wes. The coffee? What? What's not working for you? Liz. The coffee's fine. Please don't make me spell it out. Wes. You mean us. You could have told me. Liz. I just did tell you. You could have seemed surprised. Wes. I don't know. I mean, no, I'm not happy either. Haven't been happy. Liz. This life wasn't meant for me. For so long I've been numb to that. My fate lies somewhere far away. Wes. So, what do you want to do? Liz. I don't know. I want to just go. You know? Wes. I can go with you. Liz. You don't understand. Wes. Maybe not. I mean, I don't think you understand. I don't think you know me at all. But I guess that's the point. That's the whole point. Liz, what are you gonna do? Wes, I think... Yeah, I think I'm gonna just go. I'll always love you, Liz. Wes, I really hope not. Wes quits his job and takes out a loan from his father. He takes a long-haul bus to the East Coast. We see him with a pile of poetry books and onion-skinned notepads on the seat beside him. Liz hitches a ride with a friend to Chicago and takes a plane from there. Each arrives in New York. Liz settles down on a friend's living room couch. She stalks small art shows, trying to get someone to notice her and explain to her how she can make her start. She gets a fresh set of brushes and oils and posts her works in progress on Instagram. Wes goes to poetry slams. Mustering his courage, he performs one of his own poems. Afterwards, he's approached by a well-dressed sophisticate who seems to have connections. They start talking about the revolutionary potential of poetry. When they reach Wes's studio apartment, the sophisticate tries to kiss him. Wes pulls back, makes anxious excuses about a trip he's planning tomorrow, ushers the other man out the door. We see Wes sitting at the end of the mattress, with his knees pressed tightly together. From a bulletin at a bus stop, Liz learns about a guerrilla art show. She contacts them and receives a spot. When she arrives at location, there's a musician at the spot, busking on contrabass. He flirts with Liz. Liz flirts back. She blows off the art show to spend the day with him. His name is Chris. He's an old money student working towards his degree in architecture. Liz feels connected to him. Towards evening, she wants to say, "I love you." But they're interrupted by a call. Family crisis. Chris has to go back to Pennsylvania to settle his father's affairs and stay close to his sick mother. From home, Chris calls and asks Liz to live with him. Liz can't quit New York. Anyway, the spark is gone. Wes's poetry goes from fiery to existential and hopeless. Mid-performance, his recitation breaks down into shorter and shorter repetition. Gone, 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 with each repetition smacking himself on the forehead. That was not part of the poem. Rent is coming due. Wes calls his dad to ask for another loan. His dad grouses at him about the property taxes on the duplex he still hasn't found a renter for. He says he'll give Wes the loan, but only if he promises that half of it will go toward a plane ticket home. He refuses. Days away from eviction, Wes goes walking. He's looking for inspiration. In a storefront, he sees a row of bouquets. He admires them with sadness. In the reflection of the storefront window, an easel. Wes doesn't recognize her at first. He crosses the street to get a better look at what she's painting. At her feet lies a beret that's collecting change. The painting is a still life. Daisies. Wes drops a quarter into the beret. She looks up at him. Wes. Liz. Liz. What the hell? Wes. I can't believe I found you. Liz. Did you come all this way, looking for me? Wes. No. Maybe? I didn't know it, but maybe this is why I'm here. I've never heard of busking with a paintbrush. Liz. I thought if I could fill the world with beautiful things, people would appreciate it. Wes. You already do, Liz. Always. They talk. Explore the city together. Drift steadily back in love. That night, they go back to Liz's apartment. Under cover of night, they murmur to each other. Wes. I was so lost. Liz. I was made for you. How did I not see it? Wes. We lost sight of our dreams somehow. We lost sight of each other. Liz. Yes. Wes. Promise we'll never do it again. Liz. I promise. It's that life. That city. Wes? Wes. Which one? Liz. Minneapolis. Minneapolis killed my heart. Wes. Oh. Liz. Promise me we won't go back there? Wes. So where will we go? I'm about to be evicted. Liz. Anywhere. All that matters is that we're together. The next morning, Liz makes a proposal. Iceland. It's beautiful in the summer. In Iceland, you can get a degree in fairy spotting. And there are equal pay laws. Liz always wanted to go to Iceland. Wes realizes that he had already longed for Iceland too. Time now for a little discussion. Our goal was to outline a story where we throw a wrench in the idea of romantic love. How did the narrative decisions we made contribute to that central theme? The opening is a twist on a classic setup. Both protagonists live dreary lives and dream of adventure. But through their words, we imply that their relationship began as an adventure, and what we're seeing now is the tail end of what they both thought would be the defining love of their lives. We also see that they do not communicate very well. When each thinks of adventure, they think of the same thing, but the other doesn't know it. In the trip to New York, we see each of them back in phase 1 of their respective relationships with fate. But as in their own relationship, the new love of New York offers a honeymoon experience that fades quickly. Wes's dream of being part of a bustling bohemian high culture ends more quickly still. The encounter with the sophisticate can be read one of two ways. Either the culture Wes wants to break into is in fact transactional, and the sophisticate wants to exploit him sexually in exchange for career favors, or the love in this new world is just a little faster and freer than Wes is used to. In any case, Wes withdraws from it, and the withdrawal hurts him. In his new world, Wes expects the objects of his desire to find him. When what does find him is something he doesn't want, he shuts down. Liz has a little more luck gaining traction in her new life, but her actions suggest a lack of commitment to the plan. Chris symbolizes a fresh start, but he also symbolizes security. That's why she chooses him over a place in the street art gallery. There's a theme running through these events that supports the main theme. We see that Liz and Wes both desire security. The happy life they want to gain through adventure is really a secure one, but they cannot admit this to themselves. The result is an endless zigzag between a life of responsibility and a life of recklessness that ultimately gets them nowhere. At the end, as we see our heroes fly off toward an Arctic sunrise, we are left wondering if it really is true what they say about one another. We remember how easily someone else could have been Liz's the one. When they meet by chance, this seems to affirm their love, but it was also by chance that Liz was separated from Chris. Was it fate? An incurious viewer might conclude that yes, it was, since a red herring love interest is par for the course in this type of story. What is necessary to really make the question work is to make Liz's short relationship with this man more intense and passionate than anything she experiences with Wes. There's nothing wrong with Liz's new relationship, no fatal flaw. They are simply let down by timing. Another thing that makes the deconstruction work is the return to key themes. This life wasn't meant for me, and I was made for you. At each development, both Wes and Liz conclude that whatever is happening to them right now must be the real intention of fate, written into their futures at some time in the distant past. What effect does this have on the reader? The intention is to make narrative and narration run on two diverging tracks. As Wes and Liz tell it, They've broken free of their conformist lives and renewed their passion for each other. But the events themselves suggest that they've mistaken a chance encounter for an epiphany and still lack an understanding of what the other needs and wants. Through this, we see that a belief in fate is a poor foundation for a healthy relationship, and hopefully we can see that lovers would be better off if they cast off their presuppositions of what they are meant to do. But perhaps not. Perhaps the story I've told you didn't have anything close to the effect I intended. Perhaps it seemed to mean nothing at all. Even in the controlled environment of a chapter in a manual on writing, a writer is always playing with fire. Fire never burns exactly as it is meant to. I've been Matthias Martins. Thank you so much for joining me for Chapter 5 of How to Do Things with Stories. Stay tuned for Chapter 6, Story Structure.